not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Purge sanctioned by the U.S. government.
Hello and welcome to About Last Night. My name's EJ Marino and this is the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. We're jumping right into this episode because things are going to be at a quick pace. We only got 12 hours to purge. Sorry, I only have a couple minutes to review this. Yes, I am talking about the new film from Blumhouse, The First Purge. Alright, so The First Purge is the fourth film in this long-running franchise. I'm actually impressed that they've gotten 4 movies out of this, though they are moving to a different platform in the future, but 4 films out of a franchise based around these political horror films? I'm intrigued and I'm impressed by that, but that's the power of Blumhouse. They make these good, cheap, but low budget, fun horror films, and they make money on this, and that's why we can franchise a movie like The Purge out. And with The First Purge, I have to say that this franchise is still going about as strong as it was in the second or third entry. Are they reinventing the wheel in The First Purge? No, by any means. This is just kind of if you've seen one, you've seen them all. But confession, I haven't really seen a lot of the Purge films. I saw the very first Purge that came out, that is called The Purge. And now I have seen The First Purge, which is a prequel to all of the other Purges. Oh my god, this is confusing like a Marvel movie. Anyways, so yes, The First Purge is a prequel basically, as it says in the title. This is the first Purge, and it's kind of called the experiment in this one. They don't really have a label for this yet, though in the film they start calling it The Purge very quickly. And I like the idea of seeing how this started, seeing how our government got to this point. Now, the compliments, I don't want to say end there, but this film it's about average. It's not going to blow you away, but it actually didn't disappoint me. I had a good time. I don't think, like I said, this doesn't reinvent the wheel. You're not going to see anything new in this. This is truly like all the other Purge movies, but I like the direction that the franchise is going. I like this political horror aspect, because what's scarier than politics? I don't know, politics to this extreme, which it feels like we're going to go at one point. Not to get political in this video, I don't care about it at all, but I do like seeing it used as a scare tactic. It's something that they talk about in this movie, fear-mongering. We are trying to get people scared and into this weird kind of defensive mode so they would attack. And I thought that was interesting to see that our government had to manipulate our society to get to where this Purge was. That's the best thing to come out of a prequel Purge movie, is to see that this isn't just our society going crazy very quickly. No, they had to mess with it, put their fingers in this crazy pot to get us to where we are now with the Purge franchise. And I liked seeing that. I thought that was very refreshing, and I thought that added a backstory to this franchise that I knew was there. I'm not dumb. You always felt it. And they've hinted on military or mercenaries kind of interfering in the Purge and other ones from what I've heard. But this one, it is heavily implied. You got to see the government send their own militia, which happened to just be the Klan and Nazis. Interesting. But that was, we got to see them infiltrate the Staten Island, the projects basically, and that was so sad to see that them attacking a low-income community like this because they knew that they could. They offered monetization for basically murder, and that's so insane that this worked. But it also doesn't shock me. This is not out of the realm. Maybe that's what I find so intriguing, is that this movie isn't that shocking, because this sounds about what we're steps to real life. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think anyone's ever gonna purge anybody. Though that would be nice. In The First Purge, which is directed by a pretty new director, I think he only has one feature film, his name's Gerard McMurray, I'm actually happy to see that he crafted a well-designed, a well-laid-out film. Was all his characters fleshed out? No. Was everything as extreme and as scary as it could be? No, but for a first-time director, I will say he pulled a lot of moving pieces together in a pretty decent way. I liked it though, particularly when it focused on Dimitri, also known as D in the movie. When we moved more to him being the main character, I thought the movie finally found its focus. Because when we were dealing with Naya and Isaiah, her brother, those two characters, I wasn't really into it. I didn't have that heart in that development. But Dimitri, I was rooting for him. I was excited to see him kick ass, when he geared up and it was that we got a hero finally. With as much villains are in this movie, there wasn't a clearly set hero. And that was kind of odd to be like, okay, but who am I rooting for? Because these two aren't that fun. Dimitri's kind of like, oh, there he is. There, now he's this badass, we can go. And then we have like the political people. Marisa Tomei is the architect. And then we have the chief who works for the NFFA. Hate that title. I know, the new founding fathers of America, blah, blah, blah. Hate that title. But we had those two main characters as well. They didn't add anything. You kind of needed a vague political background, but they could have been in the beginning, and then I never needed to see them again. They added nothing to this movie, whereas, like I said, a character like Dimitri, I kept being like, I want more of him. Like, he is badass, he has a story to tell, and he's probably the best actor in this movie. Though I like Marisa Tomei as the architect. She was fine. She did her role as like uppity, businessy woman. But Dimitri is a great character. He's what the Purge should be about. A strong man from like a low income family, or hell, even if he was from a nicer area. But someone who's like, look, I don't care about this Purge. I care about my people, my community, and myself. And I liked seeing a character like him. As soon as he took over the lead in this movie, you were like, ah, there we go. This is what this movie needed. So it kind of shuffled around for 45 minutes of being like, okay, this is cool. Oh, that murder was cool. Well, that set piece is cool. This movie looks great. It has some interesting set pieces, and like it reminded me, and this is not shade on this, it reminded me a lot of like Halloween Horror Nights. You kind of was following this one character, Isaiah, around for a while, and he would turn his corner and there'd be a new scare in a new area, then he would turn this corner and would be a new area, then you had like the Purge party where that evil Skeletor villain looking guy was there killing people. There was like little points you would go to and kind of walk to, oh, here's the church setting, here's the project setting. I liked that. It kind of felt, like I said, like Halloween Horror Nights. It felt like I was going around an amusement park that I'm terrified to turn the next corner because what's over there? I liked that aspect, but it got boring kind of just walking around and doing nothing. As soon as we got a lead character, and then we were like, okay, now we're killing all the Nazis, now we're trying to figure out what the hell's happening, Dee has to go protect Naya. I was like, there we go, here is the plot, get to it quicker. And I think that's gonna hurt it because it is kind of just like, you know, twiddling its thumbs to a little bit. But once it picks up, that final act is so fun and so awesome that it kind of makes me forget some of the weaker beginning because I left the movie in a better mood than I was there in the beginning. And I always say you should walk out of a movie happier. So send them home on a good note, and then you have nicer reviews or nicer like feelings leaving a movie. Now, on the filmmaking aspect, I'm really impressed by a lot of like the shots in this movie look really great. Like the cinematography, there would be moments where I would be like, is this a Purge movie? Like, you have this in your book? Like, there's a scene in the when they were in one of the housing developments and the lights go out and it would flicker. It was like laid out so nicely, and you got the terror, you got the action. I love stuff like that. The Purge party had all these cool neons to it. Oh, also they were wearing these contacts that the government could use to watch you purge. That was such a good effect. There's a scene where he's like Isaiah, who's like the younger brother of Naya. He's walking through a hall, like a alleyway, and he sees all those like eyes in the windows. That was so terrifying. That reminded me, like, that's something I'm like, yo, if I saw that in Halloween Horror Nights, I would be utterly terrified. So the set pieces was great. The film looked great as well. Like I said, it had a good aesthetic to it, had good like set design to it. I liked some of the sets, they looked good. I like the score a lot as well. To have like an all hip-hop score is so refreshing. I have to sit through so many movies. Like last year, if I heard Country Road one more time in a movie, I'm just like, okay, I'm done with these 70s songs. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Here's some 80s rock that we all forgot about. Here's Baby Driver. I'm like, no. Give me a movie with some hip-hop, some actual like beats to it, because that makes some scenes where like, there'd be times where I'm like, oh, I'm having a good time. I like this song. Oh, that's a badass song. Like, I liked that. So props to the score. Everything around it to make the movie is great. There was just something there that I said, I just disconnect. It's that first 45 that you're just kind of waiting for everything to jump in, that you're kind of like pointing out flaws. You're like, oh, that person's not a good actor. Or that one character, Denise, doesn't need to be the comedic relief every scene she's in. Oh, there's another joke from her. There's a lot of stuff like that that like you kind of start focusing on because it's not picking up. The action isn't where it should be. Then by like the last 30 minutes, I'm having a great time. The set piece looks great. The score looks great. The soundtrack's good. The characters are doing well. The gore. Oh, the gore. From what I've heard about these movies, it's all gun violence, which they added some new weapons to it, but the CG blood is so distracting. Movies, please stop using CGI as blood. We get it, it's cheaper, but really, is it cheaper than corn syrup and like food coloring? Is it really? Because it's distractingly bad. There's a scene where like the blood like went all over the screen and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I can see the pixels in the blood. Whereas there's a fire scene in this movie that has a lot of CG to it, and I got that. I'm like, maybe not like this actual apartment on fire. I got the CG there. But then I'm trying to like put that mindset with the blood and I'm like, no, you could put squibs on them. Like squibs are basically like those little packs that explode when you like shoot them in a movie or stuff like that. Put those on. That's the better effect because that CG blood is distracting. For a movie that has a lot of practical effects, a lot of practical gore when it wants to, then when they do that CG blood, it like smacks you in the face of like, that doesn't look good. Before I finish this review, let's kind of wrap up everything. Here's my pros and cons. The pros? I thought this was an enjoyable film. A con, it took a little bit to get enjoyable. A pro, I got to see stupid, gross, racist Nazis get murdered. Yeah, that's a big pro. A con, I don't know, there's no con to watching racists get murdered, so that's fine. Okay, another pro. I thought it was, I thought it looked good. It had a good thing. I didn't feel as low budget as it is. A con to that, it's sometimes like with the CG blood and the limited sets, you can still feel the low budget, but it wasn't distractingly bad. I just know it took away from some actual great moments when, you know, I'm just like, oh, those budget limitations are, God, is this a PG-13? Because yeah, they've used the F word a lot, but that kill was pretty weak. So, you know, give or take with, like I said, with some of the entertainment factor, you give some, you lose some. That is my review for the first Purge. What did you think of this review? And also, what did you think of this movie? If you've seen it already, let me know down in your comments below. If you have not seen the movie yet, what are you waiting for? Do you want to go see this? Is this your kind of movie? Let me know down in the comments as well. Also, give me a thumbs up. They mean the world to me. YouTube likes to use them as a way to like promote creators, so a thumbs up means the world. Also, subscribe to my channel so you will know new videos are posted. And that's it. Next week I have, Skyscraper maybe? We'll see. I have another movie coming out next week to talk about, but that is it for the first Purge.
Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.